Okay, I'm going to open the Metropolitan Policy Committee meeting for Thursday, December 7th, 2023. We'll do a welcome and introductions. I think everybody knows everybody, but we can go down the windows if we want. Introduce yourselves. Anybody new?
I'll start. I'm top left on my screen.
Okay.
Pat Farr, Board of County Commissioners.
I'll go. I'm Kelly Sutherland. I'm on the LTD board.
Thank you, Kelly.
I'm Nancy Bell, Mayor of Coburg. Kelly.
I'm Susan Cox, LTD board, and having technical difficulties, so I apologize.
Well, we hear you and we can see you on this end. So.
Okay.
Keep going.
Commissioner David Lovell, representing the greatest town in the country, Springfield. Happy to be here.
Yes.
That's only because Bethel is not a town.
Hey, Pat, we can annex you. We can solve
I love it. We're already making progress, changing the world.
Anybody else want to introduce themselves?
Sean Van Gordon, Mayor of Springfield.
Okay.
Randy Groves, City Council, Eugene.
We got everybody. I think everybody's here now. Okay, let me move on. Did I call us to order? Anyway. Oh, I did. Okay. Now, the next agenda item is to approve the November 2nd, 2023 MPC meeting minutes.
I move to approve.
Motion?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, raise your hands. Let's see. Okay, we got enough, I guess. Any adjustments to the agenda? Announcements from MPC members? I see none. Comments from the audience? I usually read something about that. Well, let me read what's on the back. The meeting will be conducted via Zoom webinar, allowing public access to the Zoom meeting as an attendee. Anybody wishing to comment in general or during a public hearing will be asked to raise their Zoom virtual hand when prompted by the chair at the beginning of each public comment opportunity. Speakers will be moved to panelist status and asked to speak on a first-come basis. A limit of 3 minutes per person is requested. Is that the proper thing I'm supposed to read, Paul?
Yes, thank you, Chair. And if you're asking for public comment, at this time, I don't see anybody other than members and staff present, so I don't believe there's comment from the public.
All right, thank you. Next item, Metropolitan Planning Organization issues. The first one is A, MPO boundary adjustment.
That is me, Chair.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. So, members, if you recall, we introduced this item to you last month. We have, as a requirement of the 2020 census, boy, I'm off by 10 years. As a requirement of the 2020 census, we have a requirement to look at the MPO boundary with the new census data and at least adjust the MPO boundary if needed to adhere to the Census Bureau's minimum urbanized area boundary for the MPO. Again, we talked about this last month. The memo recaps that, and the two attachments, the maps showing the small areas that will be added to the MPO if you approve this action, are unchanged from last month. There was a public comment period open. There has been no public comment submitted, and your advisory committee has unanimously recommended that you approve the new recommended boundary. I do say recommended boundary because if you approve this today, it then gets sent to the governor, and the governor makes the final determination of MPO boundaries for the state. So I'm asking again for your approval of recommending the new MPO boundary to the governor.
Yeah, the agenda says action requested. It says none. This is only information right now.
Did I make a mistake on that? I'm sorry if it says that.
Which way is it?
No, the action on this is approved proposed adjustments to MPO boundary.
Okay, so I'll ask for a vote on recommending this. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
Okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking for a motion.
I move to approve the adjustment to the MPO boundaries
Okay.
as presented.
Do we have a second? No seconds.
Second.
Farley, County seconds.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, I'll ask for those approving it, or wait, raise your hands like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe we have enough, so it passes. Next agenda item: Central Lane MPO public partition. God, I can't plan. Well, I don't know why I can't pronounce that. Okay. Staff Dan Callister.
Right. Hi, I'm Daniel Collister. This is to provide an update on the progress of the new public participation plan and to present some preliminary results of the survey that's currently underway. Am I getting any feedback? Am I the only one hearing that?
It echoes.
Yeah. Okay. I don't hear it anymore.
I think we're okay now, Dan.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen in just a second, but first, the current public participation plan was adopted in 2015. And while it's an excellent document for Central Lane MPO in 2015, it's now badly in need of an update. So it's a good opportunity to give a close review to the tools, to the strategies, the policies, and procedures that the MPO utilizes for engaging the public. So we've been working on a new public participation plan, or PPP, for a number of months now. As part of that, we've developed a survey to collect data that will be useful in recommending informed updates to improve public engagement on regional transportation issues. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, are we seeing that? Great.
Recording in progress.
Feedback again. So you can take a picture of that QR code with your phone and it will take you to the online survey. It's been open since November 6th. We'll be accepting responses through December 15th. So free to share this. That QR code is actually at the bottom of all the slides in this presentation. So some of the basic questions we're hoping to answer with this survey: how does the public want to engage with the MPO? What MPO issues are of most interest to the public? What are the barriers that keep people from participating? We developed the survey, vetted questions through MPO staff and with our technical advisory subcommittee, eventually refining the survey into its final form. The survey was published on the SurveyMonkey platform in both English and Spanish. It was posted on the LCOG and MPO Facebook, Twitter pages, and the website. We sent an email to the MPO distribution list and invited our partner agencies to share on their social media. We boosted those postings through paid promotions, incentivized respondents with the chance to win 1 in 5 $50 gift cards to a local grocery store of their choice. And we distributed roughly 135 posters around downtown Eugene, U of L campus, and downtown Springfield. As of 2 days ago, we have received 136 responses. There's a caveat: this is not statistically valid. So there are ways of carrying out a survey that will provide you with responses that can be assumed to reflect the community in a proportional way through random sampling and other methods. That's not what we did here. And in hindsight, that would have been a worthwhile approach. And we recommend that with the next public participation plan, that we do include a more robust budget for a more scientific survey. But the current survey, it is yielding valuable data despite being low cost, fairly quickly executed, and mostly an in-house effort. We're pleased with what we're getting from it so far. Thankfully, we had the foresight to collect certain demographic information from respondents to help us better understand who we're hearing from. We're particularly interested with this update in engaging members of historically excluded, underserved, underrepresented populations, those that are identified in our Title VI plan, including disabled, elderly, ethnic minorities, persons in poverty. So the demographic questions helped us monitor throughout the collection period how well represented these groups are among our respondents as those completed surveys are coming back to us. It also has been really useful for us to see what other segments of the population we're not hearing from enough and where we need to redouble efforts. So, for example, it became apparent pretty quickly that we were not getting many responses from people living or working in Springfield. We were able to hire someone to distribute posters around downtown Springfield and help to bring those numbers up. Additionally, we found that we weren't hearing very much from people age 17 or younger, and we're planning now to present the survey to members of the Youth Council and invite them to take the survey, share it with their friends. So getting that real-time feedback has been helpful. I won't present all the results of the demographic questions, but I will say that while the survey was conducted in a way that ensures statistic validity, in comparing the results against census data for the Eugene urbanized area, it appears to be not really far off the mark as far as how well the demographics of the respondents line up against the demographics of the general population. So there is that. I'm going to skip these. The next few slides show those demographics. But I'm going to get right to the public participation questions. I can come back to the demographic results if you're interested, but this is the real meat and potatoes of the survey that we're trying to get here. Nearly a third of respondents have provided input to a public agency as part of the public decision-making process. That's interesting information to know. More than I might have guessed. Question, which MPO issues are you most interested in being informed about? There are 4 issues that most respondents were interested in being informed about, the regional goals, objectives, and policies being at the top of that list. Long-range transportation planning, air quality, accountability, and project funding prioritization. So of much interest among the respondents. Membership and committee representation, not so interesting to our respondents. What barriers keep you from participating more fully in public decision-making processes? Not knowing about opportunities to participate is far and away the top response here, but plenty of other barriers being identified often as well. Not knowing which agency to interact with. This is a barrier that MPOs deal with pretty often, where we're sometimes an unknown entity to much of the public, and many who have heard of us are maybe unclear exactly what the MPO's role is. So it is a good way to tease out that kind of information, better understanding how the public perceives the MPO, or that maybe doesn't know, the MPO doesn't know their role, and how we as an MPO could maybe be doing a better job of proactively outreaching, even when we don't have a specific project lined up, but making sure that people know who we are, what our role is, and that can be an important part of public engagement moving forward. Which methods would be most effective for letting you know about opportunities to provide input? So we probably selected for these top 4 or 5 methods by virtue of the fact that the survey was promoted by each of the top 5 methods except for the mailings. But it is useful to see among these respondents, at least, which methods maybe would be less effective. There's some on there that I would have thought of as being maybe, if not the most convenient, at least really effective, like tabling or engagement partnerships, some of these that you think would be really effective, and maybe the question is just not really clear. But of course, this question in particular may not have provided responses representative of the entire population, but it is a little window into at least a segment of the population. This is input that might be really useful as we're looking at how the NPO focuses outreach in effective ways. How are you most comfortable providing input? Again, with this question, I would expect that people responding to an online survey would feel pretty comfortable doing that. So no surprise that it's the majority response. But despite that, it is very interesting to see where some of the others landed. Speaking at a public meeting, while it is arguably the most effective way of providing input, it's also the least comfortable for people. Very interesting, I thought, to see that respondents are more comfortable speaking at an in-person public meeting than at a virtual public meeting, such as today's meeting. What social media sites do you use most frequently? Facebook and Instagram are the clear leaders among respondents, as you might expect. I've included the other platforms that respondents wrote in. This is all helpful information. And this is an open-ended question we asked. Do you have any suggestions for how to make public engagement more effective? We received 52 written responses. Some comments were really well thought out and specific. Again, this is all helpful information that helps us better understand excuse me, the challenges and the opportunities that exist in considering what public engagement looks like for the NPO. This is the final slide here, timeline and next steps. Again, the survey is still open. I encourage NPC, and especially any members of the public who are hearing this, follow that link and answer the dozen or so questions. Tell your friends about it. You have until December 15th. In the meantime, we've been reaching out directly to organizations that work closely with our Title VI populations with a handful of questions that are very similar to some of the questions from this online survey. We're hoping that this will provide us with an overall picture that's more reflective of the needs of those communities. We'll be using all this information as we complete the draft. We anticipate that the draft will be ready for public review at the earliest by February 15th. That's when the Transportation Planning Committee meets. And then NPC has established that public review for the adoption of a PPP, the Public Participation Plan, will be 45 days. So following that tentative schedule, we'd have a public hearing at March NPC and possible approval at NPC in April. There is no action. This is just information only, but I do see there's a question. Level. Mr. Level.
Hey, Dan, thank you. Hey, this question may have been asked numerous times before, but, I'm old and haven't asked this question yet. I'm wondering, some of the things other than skywriting, which would be the 2% of the other to get the message out. I'm wondering if back in the day when I was in advertising, there was the public address system that public access, there's certain slots in news and in the TV stations. Is that something that the county and NPC and us in the politics have ever tried to access to try to help get that word out, or is it even possible? Do you know?
That's a great question. I'd have to look into that.
Commissioner Lovell, I'll jump in and say that is a very good suggestion, and we do have our LCOG public information officer who works with the media, and we'll pass that question along to her.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, even to the point to where, Neil Morier from the county could even, I would believe, assist in, doing some blips that could help with some of the communication visuals that would be required. So Yeah, I'd love to see that happen. Thanks for looking into that.
Commissioner Moss? Oh, you're muted. Looked like you were unmuted for a second, but you're muted again.
Now,
I can hear you. Yes.
okay. You mentioned earlier you didn't get a lot of response from Springfield, and then you mentioned downtown a couple of times. I'm wondering if you did cover Thurston, Marcola, and Gateway.
Yeah, great ideas.
You did?
I'd like to hear more from Springfield. So we'll see how effective the downtown posters were.
Downtown's only one demographic.
Sure. To be fair, we only put posters in downtown Eugene, though.
I see. So, okay. Well, you still have to get the information out to the public, wherever, whatever.
Yes, we'll consider that. I will say the vendor that we were using to distribute the posters only operated in downtown Eugene. We had to coerce them a little bit to get them to go to Springfield. So there may be other services, other vendors that provide that service we could look into.
If we don't get that done, then we're not doing what we're supposed to do. That's all.
Thank you. If there are no other questions, I thank you for your time, and please follow that QR code, take the survey, share it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I have lost audio on everybody. Am I alone?
No, Commissioner, I think Chair Mo may be trying to unmute, and Chair, we are ready for the next agenda item. If you'd like us to proceed with that, the annual obligation report is again Dan speaking.
Keeps going to mute. I don't know why. I'm very, very sorry, everybody. But anyway, yeah, we're looking for the annual obligation report, Dan Callister.
Yes, thank you. Moving that up here. Okay. So that report is included in the MPC packet as an attachment for you to bring that up. I won't be sharing the screen, just giving an overview of that report. So the annual obligation report, this is required of all MPOs to publish an annual listing of projects for which federal funds were obligated in the preceding federal fiscal year. So this report lists all of the federal funds obligated for projects within the MPO boundaries between October 1st, 2022 and September 30th, 2023. The data that we use to create that report is provided to the MPO as an automated report from the Federal Highway Administration's fiscal data system. It itemizes each transaction, and we get that as this long list with lots of numbers. This is then reviewed by staff for accuracy. I then use that combined with data provided by the Main Transit District for their executed grants through Federal Transit Administration to create this annual listing. So the purpose of the report is to show the public how federal funds are actually currently being spent for transportation in the MPO and to give an idea of progress projects. To just present at a high level the numbers for 2023 on that first page, it shows you at the bottom. There were a total of $37.5 million federal funds obligated in the last federal fiscal year to 29 different projects in Central Lane MPO's Transportation Improvement Program. On page 2, you can see there are figures 1 and 2. Figure 2 breaks those obligations down by agency. ODOT obligated the most federal funds in FY23. It is typically ODOT or Land Transit District that obligate the most federal funds each year within our MPO. Figure 2 shows the various funding sources of those obligated funds. So FTA Section 5307 funds, those are utilized by LTD, and the National Highway Performance Program, or NHPP funds, those are utilized by ODOT. Together, those two funds accounted for nearly $25 million of the federal funds obligated to the MPO. So the MPO has discretion over the programming of certain federal funds and is responsible for the timely obligation of those funds. Those funding programs include the Service Transportation Block Grant Funds, or STBG-U, U stands for urban. The Transportation Alternatives Program, or TAP, or in this listing TA-U, again for urban. Highway Infrastructure Program, or HIP. Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality Improvement Program, or CMAQ. And Carbon Reduction Program, or CRP. So about $5.3 million of these funds were obligated in FY23. Each individual obligation of funding is listed in the report in the table that starts on page 5. That listing is grouped by agency. The report is published on the MPO website. Required to do that within 90 days at the end of the federal fiscal year. It's been published and provided to USDOT now in accordance with those federal regulations. I'm happy to answer any questions. There's no action requested here. This is just for your information.
Looking for my agenda sheet. So there is no action requested this time, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Anybody want to ask any questions? Anything? All right. Thank you very much. But this is from me, by the way, a public participation element of the last agenda item. I'm really confused about that. I'd like to talk about that. Not here, but I want to understand that a little bit better. So moving on, follow-up steps. Oregon ODOT update. Anybody there for that?
Chair, I understand that Vidal Francis was not able to join us today, and I received an email just a few minutes ago that Bill Johnson from ODOT was unable to, was having some technical problems and couldn't join the meeting. So I don't think we have an ODOT update today.
Okay, thank you. Technical problems used to be when our TV station didn't work. Next one is TIP project changes.
Chair, this is the standing issue or agenda item in the agenda that is information only. If there's any questions, we're happy to answer them, but this shows the actions on TIP amendments and projects that were undertaken by your advisory committee.
All right. Next steps, agenda build. Anybody have items for the future that we should discuss?
I'm happy to hear from members, but I'll note a couple of things if I may, Chair.
Yes.
First, please, as a reminder, I mentioned this last month, please note that the January 4th MPC meeting is canceled due to that being a holiday week. So we will next meet as MPC on February 1st. There are, I'm happy to say, several agenda items getting lined up that I think are going to involve us in more discussion around policy issues. One of those, for example, is that you may have heard that just within the past week, the federal government issued the final greenhouse gas rule, which originally was proposed several years ago, but did not come to be at that time. The GHG rule not only requires state DOTs to set performance measures around on-road CO2 emissions, but it requires MPOs to set performance measures and targets. What's interesting this time, as you know, if you'll recall, most of you will recall that prior performance measure targets for the MPO gave the MPO a choice to either set their own individual targets or to support the targets set by their state DOT. This rule actually requires MPOs to set their own individual performance targets. So we will need to have a good discussion around that. The other thing that's important is that there's a very short timeline on implementation of this rule. Believe it or not, state DOTs have to set their performance targets by February 1st. That's this coming February 1st. And and the MPOs then have to set their targets within 6 months after that. So I am lining up ODOT staff to come talk to us either at the January MPC meeting or the February MPC meeting about what they're doing and what their performance measures and targets will be and how they may be able to assist us in moving forward with setting the MPO's individual performance targets. More on that to come. I will also say that there's going to be a ramp up early in 2024 on some of the agenda items and specific discussions needed to start working on the next RTP update that's due in about 2 years. One of the things that I think we will want to tackle first is talking about how projects get prioritized between the constrained and illustrative list. If you recall, the constrained list is that which we expect to be able to fund and build within the time frame of the long range plan. The illustrative list of those projects that seem to not have funding available, if you will, at this time. There are several other things around the RTP that we want to be engaging you in as soon as possible. And then earlier in this meeting, I think I heard a request for an annexation agenda item. We'll see if that's on the table.
All right, Paul has spoken. Who else? Have you guys noticed when I run a meeting, we get through it pretty fast?
Yeah, the amateurs were in charge last time, Chair, when you weren't there. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry, you just go on and on and on. So I think we're about ready to close the meeting. Anybody have any problems with that? Like I said earlier, I did have a question about public participation. Dan Callister, I'd like to talk to him about it. Is it out of order if I talk to him individually?
Perfectly okay.
Not now, not here, but just wanted to discuss that. Okay.
And Chair, if I may, you just reminded me of one other thing. Since we won't meet in January, in February we will have the election of the MPC officers for 2024. And again, typically, first of all, the officers have to be from either Eugene, Springfield, or Lane County, and typically those rotate. So traditionally, Commissioner Lovell would presumably be nominated for chair, and a member from the city of Eugene would be nominated for vice chair. But again, that's not a hard and fast rule among the three of you.
All right. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chair. Just for the next agenda, if I may just put this parting shot, if you could discuss when you get together with Paul, Steve, when might we get together in person as opposed to online? I think that's a major impetus to public participation. No need to answer right now. I'm sure you've talked about it before, but in February, if we could talk about it a bit.
I always prefer in person myself, but I'm willing to do it any way that the people want to. So, okay, we'll talk about it, Paul.
Thank you.
Anybody, anything else? Any new or old stuff? Then I guess I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.